will be a description of the Quickdraw weaving program's basic grid controls. Most obvious function would be a straight line. Where I go down, it's just going to draw a line between there and where I end up. The freehand would be a similar tool, only it's just as I move whatever shape of pattern I want to. The fills would fill an area. If it's already set, it would toggle it. I come over here for a second. If I import a draft, this was the basic tool that I had on the main edit grid. And I can do things like select that area, copy that. Now when I come in with a paste tool, I can actually paste that copied cell. And if I go back and forth, you can see that it flips it up and down, left and right if I move. So it knows the order it copied in. Now if I want to, I can also export that pattern. So I want to export that back to export that draft. I would put that onto the main editor grid, and I can do whatever I want to with it there. And the clear grid functionality would just erase that part of it. I'm going to do a separate video talking about the symmetry controls and the framing controls, specifically a number of different videos talking about the threading and thread substitutions here. But once I have an area selected, let me just kind of grab that chunk, I can rotate it up, down, left, right. I can flip it left and right, flip it up and down. I can also switch the dark and the light cells. That's what the toggle does. Turn it 90 degrees. It has to be a square, but it will turn it, and you keep going to get back where you want it to be. Now those basic functions will work on multiple structures. For example, if I ask for the C structure there, it would actually fill in that area with the C structure. So I can blend some fairly complicated things in the basic controls of the drawing grid. This will be an update for version 5.9. Now what I've actually added is a couple of new drawing tools for diamonds, ellipses, as well as the ability to copy a structure to fill in selected areas of the grid, and I'll talk about those in a second. Let me start back with the normal rectangular fill tool. Now if you'll notice, when it starts the box when I go down on the left-hand mouse click, when I go just move around, it follows to where the move point is and fills it when I get done. The new diamond tool is going to do about that same thing. When I come in, it's going to fill the diamond between where my down point is and the up point. And you'll notice on the right-hand corner there, right now I've got a single box. And if I come down, it's going to give me a double box. And that's just kind of a nature of drawing on the grid, so you can actually see what that's going to do in real time and decide whether you like which way it's going. Also, as I move around, it's going to fill in that diamond and create odd rectangular shapes on the angles. If I want to fill just the outside line, I come down just below to just above, and it would fill just that. Now, while I have a shape here defined, if I wanted to fill that area with the don't care symbols for copy and paste, if I do a right mouse click, drag that in there, it will fill all the contiguous spaces with whatever structure I drag. Say I have multiple structures defined, and if I wanted to fill that with the structure D and the mustard there, I can do that. And now the other thing I can also do is where I have the structure, if I drag the C there, for example, it would recognize all of the yellows, change everything that's yellow on the grid to a red or to the don't care structure, so I can change the colors of a structure that way. The other thing let me talk about here for a moment is going to be the ellipse tool, which is a little bit different than the other tools. Now in the ellipse tool, I actually set it up, rather than filling in the rectangle, it actually will start from the center and then you fill the radius, and you can make tall and thin or narrow and wide, so you can make an ellipse any shape you want. And if I wanted to make that just a circle outline, I can drag that and then I can determine where that ellipse point is when I let go of the mouse. It's actually filled those in. You'll notice it's actually left a little bit of gap there. So let me show you an example. If I try and fill that with the color C, it's going to take a while, but it's actually going to end up filling the entire screen because it's gone through those gaps. If I do an undo, so if I had those gaps, I need to clean those up. Now that wasn't a symmetric fill, but now if I do a right click on the C, now it's just going to fill that area. So that gives you an idea how the new structures work as well as how to drag and fill and so forth. One minor comment. Let me, under normal drawing tools, it would define an ellipse by starting where the mouse down point and define the rectangle, and then when you let go, it would fill the ellipse. In drawing, that gets awkward because your first point is actually going to be outside the circle, so it doesn't know whether to color inside or out and so forth. So that's why I did it as a radius tool.